Well, good afternoon. This is a training film which I hope will help you to succeed in your passing of the driving test. What I intend to do with this film is to try and show you the approach into the roundabouts, and especially the Cuckoo Bridge roundabout, which we'll be doing from several directions, just to let you know and let you see. Now, I've found out since I've worked in Dumfries that probably one of the biggest failings for pupils at test is at the Cuckoo Bridge roundabout, or particularly this one as well. So we're going to turn right, checking the mirror and signalling and moving over to the right lane. Checking the roundabout is clear. I'm joining the roundabout now. Remaining on the inside lane or right lane, following it around, keeping my eye constantly on the other traffic, checking the mirrors before leaving the roundabout and signalling to exit. Now, past the national speed limit sign, so we're now accelerating gently in second gear and now up to third gear. Noticing the road signs for Kilmarnock and Stranraer. Checking the amount of traffic coming towards us and also staying at a safe and reasonable distance from the vehicle in front. Remembering, of course, that if they stop suddenly, would I be able to? At this sort of distance, yes, we should be. Now, the correct distance is generally about, for every mile per hour that you're doing, is to allow 1 metre. So I'm currently doing about 45 miles per hour at the moment, and I'm staying a good 60-70 metres behind at this present time. I'm currently running in 4th gear, and just going to now change it up to 5. Just check the mirror as soon as I've made a gear change. When you're checking the mirrors, you should be looking in at least 6 times a minute, which would equate to every 10 seconds. So, uneventful at the moment, apart from some traffic on the road, and we're heading down towards the Cuckoo Bridge. Now, my intention is at the Cuckoo Bridge to take the second exit on the left. It's clearly marked on the signboard for Dumfries. Now, remember what I keep telling you at the briefings, that what we're looking for is information. The information that we're first of all looking for is where we want to go and what the sign tells us. It gives us a shape of the roundabout and where we should generally be looking to go to Dumfries. So we can see there is clearly the second exit. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that pupils make on the approach here with the examiner is to put a left-hand signal on at this time. They're also quite keen to be in the centre lane. Now, it should always be done from the left-hand lane as I'm making the approach now. I'm still in 5th gear and I'm now changing it down to 2nd. Observing to the right and the roundabout's clear and I'm joining. As I pass exit 1 on my left, I'm checking the mirror and giving the left-hand signal and exiting the roundabout. Nice and gently, for the sake of the camera here mainly, and observing the new speed sign, which is 30 miles an hour. Now, as we come towards this roundabout, which we'll call the Tesco roundabout, generally the only way that an examiner can take you ahead. So I'm checking the mirror again before braking and checking over to the right. There's a car on the right, so I'm braking to a stop and I'm selecting 1st gear. Checking it again, and there's still a car on my right, which I'm going to wait for. Checked again and it's clear. Check the mirror behind, keeping well left of the black line on the road, which gives me my lane position because there's no lane markings actually sign written on the road. No one at the pedestrian crossing as we go through, and we're going down to the roundabout, just gently changing up to 3rd gear, checking the mirror immediately. Pedestrian on the left and also parked car at the roundabout. Now, at the roundabout I'm going to turn all the way to the right, so I'm going to check the mirror. I'm moving over to the right just before the car behind me is moving to overtake me there. So I'm down to 2nd gear as we make the turn. Coming round the roundabout nice and gently, keeping in the right hand lane, and I'm going all the way around the roundabout back to the road that I initially came down on. I'm checking all the traffic is doing what it should do. I'm checking the mirror and signalling and leaving on the left side of the roundabout. Excuse me. Now, as we continue, the bus is pulling in, so I'm trying to see how many people are waiting to get on. Well, there's a couple there. and possibly some getting off. It gives you an indication of how long the bus is going to be there. Checked the crossing ahead and slipped it up into third gear. I'm following the road ahead at the roundabout again, and I've checked the mirror behind before changing direction. The roundabout is clear from ahead. I'm remaining in third gear, gentle pressure on the gas, and mirror check and signal to the left. Continuing on up the roundabout, and I'm being overtaken on the right at the moment, so I'm just easing my foot back off the gas because I'm going to turn right myself. So I'm going to check the mirror, signal right, and move over into the right hand lane. Now this time we're taking the fourth exit off the roundabout. I want you to be particularly careful on how you do this. So I'm checking to the right, and it's a bit of traffic there at the moment, and I've got traffic ahead of me. Still traffic from the right, so I'm bringing the car to a stop. I'm putting the handbrake on so I can get my foot back to the gas and observing again. Still traffic coming from the right, not safe to go at this point. Still more traffic, and more traffic. And now I'm just edging myself gently forward, looking for an opportunity to join. Opportunity coming up in a moment, I hope. Still a bit of traffic on here, and I now can hear the siren, and I'm looking for the trouble that might be there. The ambulance has just gone out from the station on our left. So I'm moving out onto the roundabout now and moving over to the right hand lane, re-signalling because the signal cancelled as I entered the roundabout. Keeping in the right hand lane, and I'm passing exit 3. I'm going to check the mirror, and I'm going to signal left and transfer immediately over to the far left. Notice that the traffic on the left stayed where it was, like it should be, because I effectively am on their right, and I'm leaving the roundabout. Now, we're on national speed limit again, so I'm accelerating from 2 and now up into 3. I've checked the mirror once again. Maintaining a safe distance from the traffic in front, but gently accelerating up to 40 miles an hour at the moment. This would appear to be quite safe and the right speed, because there's no way that I can overtake the heavy goods vehicle that's in front of us at the moment. It's quite a build-up of traffic ahead, so I'm trying to see what's causing the build-up. So I'm just moving out slightly to the right to have a look, and there's nothing I can see yet that would appear to be causing us a problem. So again, just remaining in fourth gear at this time. My speed's currently just round about the 50 mark, and I'm now going to change it up to 5th gear. So we're carrying straight on. I'm just keeping observation of the mirrors at all times. Constantly updating, and I'm trying to look as far ahead round this corner to see if there's a build-up of traffic. I'm also looking for brake lights, which would indicate that the traffic is slowing down, perhaps for the other roundabout, which I know is coming up. Now, as we come to the roundabout, we've got the warning signs. So there's a skews likely, and also reduced speed. Now, okay, so I'm just releasing some of the pressure off the gas pedal. No braking at this time, and I'm still currently in 5th gear. Now, I'm reading the sign, I'm taking the information, and I'm going to follow the road ahead to Lockerbie, which is the 2nd exit. So now I've checked the mirror, and I'm braking very, very lightly. Just maintaining a safe distance. I'm coming out of 5th gear now. The speed limit, the speed is currently about 15 miles an hour, and down into 2nd gear. I'm looking for my lane position, moving left of the white centre line there, because that's a separate lane on the left, and I need to be in the centre here. So I'm checking the traffic from the right, of which there's 3 or 4 at the moment, and I'm going to join the roundabout. It's quite safe to join into the 2nd lane, centre lane, and mirrors, and exit the roundabout on the left. Accelerating away again, still got the same traffic in front of me as I had prior to the roundabout. Check the sign for Lockerbie and Carlisle. Also the national speed limit repeater sign there was on the pole. So I'm aware of the fact that there's possibility of a 60 mile/hour road here if it was clear. Now people ask me how fast should they drive on here. Generally you've got to be seen to be making progress. So try and maintain a speed that's appropriate with the traffic in front, and the fact that you're maintaining this safe distance all the time. So we're following ourselves down here towards the next roundabout, of which I can see the sign already. Now notice that I'm observing nice and early, because then I've got some of the information already with me. So I've checked the sign. It's a 3-lane roundabout, and I'm going to take the road to the right. So I'm checking the mirror and taking the third exit. So indicating now, braking lightly, still in 5th gear, just using the brake, speed reducing all the time. I'm currently down to about 20 miles an hour, coming out of 5, into 2, roundabout's clear, and joining. Just bringing it round nice and gently, maintaining a constant speed as we turn, checking the traffic is okay, check the mirrors, and signal to the left, leaving the roundabout. Still in national speed limit. Car on the left, I'm just making sure that they're going to stay there. It's fine, it's just fine, she's waiting there. Car's turning off to the junction on the left, and one vehicle in front of me. So I'm following the road ahead now. Brow of a hill here, can't see over side, so there's a double solid line which I mustn't cross. It's for safety feature, and now we've got a proper view. Roadworks and 200 yards, so I'm also checking there's 300 meters to the 30 mile/hour sign. 200, and here's the roadworks into our right. So I'm just checking it, making sure there's nothing coming out, because if they warn you, there's a reason for it. Okay, so ahead we've got the 30 sign, and remember it's 30 or less as you go through the sign, not after the sign. Braking nice and gently, and going to stop behind the car, and going to make sure that I can see the tyres on the car in front, and also the tyre that the car is sitting on. Now I'm just currently waiting for this traffic light, so I've brought the gear lever back to neutral, and I'm sitting just waiting. Okay, lights are changing. First thing we do is check the mirror, see where the guy is behind. Slight acceleration, moving off, and 2nd gear. Vehicle turning to the right, make sure that they're not going to turn recklessly. Pedestrian on our left, and remember there's a 30 zone we're in, there's no one crossing, so okay there, and just maintaining 30 miles an hour, absolute maximum at this point. Slow on the road, so there's got a roundabout ahead of us, so I'm checking the mirror and I'm braking gently. I'm going to take it from 3 down to 2nd. I'm going to keep well to the left on my roundabout, and round we come, and I'm going to check the mirror and I'm going to signal left and leave. Because there was a lane there to the right, so it's important that I maintain the road to the left. Checking the pedestrians there, and I'm looking well ahead, trying to anticipate something coming, because there's traffic on their side of the road, which means they would be trying to encroach on my side of the road. So the traffic turning right, but is waiting, so that's okay. I'm still in 2nd gear, looking well ahead, and yes, can change up to 3rd gear. No one at the crossing, so the crossing will not change. I'm now looking at the bus coming towards us, so I'm now braking gently, allowing the bus some extra time to get out of the way. There we go, accelerating again down through the lanes. Now again we're coming up the brow of a hill. It's difficult to see, so just reduce the speed slightly by just adjusting the gas pedal. And as we look ahead, we can see a mini roundabout sign. So at this mini roundabout, we're going to turn right. So I'm checking the mirror from the right, and I'm signalling right. I'm currently in 3rd gear, changing down to 2, and I'm looking to the extreme right at this roundabout for trouble. It's all safe, so I'm round the roundabout nice and gently, bringing it round, looking well ahead, and starting to accelerate gently out of the junction. Looking well ahead, blind corner, so there's no point in accelerating until I can see what I will be accelerating into. Just maintain on speed, which is probably about 27 miles per hour. I'm checking the mirror, overtaking the hot car, and I'm back to slow and slow, advisory low, rather than go slower than you are. Here, and following the road ahead once again. Quite an hour yellow line is less of fast. Going ahead, hot vehicle, and vehicle's overtaking, so just try again, in case someone's thinking about overtaking us. And I can see a van sticking out, so I'm going to be very cautious. I'm checking the driver, all it's empty, and there's a roundabout, and I'm following the road ahead. I'm braking, down and sitting down. The information is good, they're all going ahead, so I can join the roundabout clearly. Extreme clear once again, going down to Hamilton and Russell, sitting right, and taking up a position for the right turn. Okay, there's nothing to say, coming right across us, but we've got enough time, quite easily, without interfering with the car, so we can make that turn. Check the mirror immediately, joining the new road, and we're up into third gear. Just checking the speedometer again and making sure that I'm not exceeding the speed limit, which is currently 30 miles per hour. Check both bus stops, no pedestrians or anything like that. Right, there's a car joining from the right, so I'm making sure that he's seen me okay, and it's not going to pull out in front of me. Okay, roundabout coming up, sign's hidden a little bit, but I'm going to take the first exit left here. So I'm checking the mirror, and I'm signalling left. Currently in third gear, quite a bit of traffic on the roundabout, so I'm bringing it down on the foot brake, and I'm just going to click it into first gear and check to the right once again. Roundabout is clear and I can join safely. Okay, it's national speed limit on here now. We just passed the sign back there, and I'm accelerating ahead again. So we're back down this road where we initially started from, and when we get to the Cuckoo Bridge roundabout, we'll take a slightly different route this time. We're going to be following the road ahead. So this time I'll show you what position that you take from joining the road ahead at this roundabout. Again, just updating the mirrors constantly, currently in fourth gear and changing up to 5. Maintaining the safe distance from the vehicles in front. Now one would watch an area like this on a windy day when it's open across a river, because this is where the high winds would be, and you can get some buffeting, which very much affects your steering and the stability of the car. So always be looking out for areas like that. And maybe just gripping the wheel a little bit tighter as you go through that area will assist you to keep your car nice and stable. Still national speed limit, there's a repeater sign there on the pole. And I'm reading the information this time, and I'm going to follow the road ahead to Stranraer. So as we look at the sign, it's actually the 4th exit. So I'm checking the mirror before I take a lane position, and I'm looking for the lane position, which is quite late at this roundabout. I'm checking the mirror and I'm braking. Still currently in 5th gear. I'm looking at the roundabout, and there's 1 or 2 cars on the roundabout that concern me. So I'm just braking to a stop, and I'm into 1st gear, and I'm going to wait here. Now if the traffic's on your right here, you should wait. If you can see it coming around in a lane, you should wait. Now it's clear, I'm joining the roundabout and I'm making into the centre lane, which is the lane that I need to follow the road ahead. Bit of confusion here with the cars in front of us, and you saw they're all juggling there to readjust the position, etc. I'm checking the mirror and I'm signalling left, and this is the fourth exit. And now I'm beginning to accelerate on the left hand lane and build the speed up quite quickly. Now if you build the speed up quite quickly, what that does is it allows the vehicles who are following behind to also build their speed up quickly, and we're not holding people up. So currently in 4, just passing 50 miles an hour and up to 5th gear. Looking well ahead. I was checking the overhead bridges as well for anybody up there, because in recent times there's stuff being thrown off bridges, etc. So it's always wise if you know ahead. So I'm looking ahead, no traffic in front of me except away right at the very end, and only a couple of cars coming up on the other lane. I'm making sure that I don't exceed the speed limit, and I'm back at 60 miles an hour, absolute maximum. Check the lay-by, that's all clear and safe, and checking the mirrors again, checking the overhead bridge, and we've now got a roundabout reduced speed now signed, and also the roundabout with 2 exits this time. So I'm checking the mirror and I'm following the road ahead. Currently still in 5th gear, just braking gently down to speed. The speed is now about 20 miles an hour. I'm taking out of 5 into 3rd gear, maintaining my lane position and through in 3rd gear. Check the mirrors and signal left off the roundabout. Continuing straight on down the roundabout now. And accelerating once again, building the speed up, 50 into 4th gear. And checking all these motorcycles are not coming out to overtake and endangering us. Right, so we're going to the roundabout now, and we're going to go all the way around the roundabout and down the other side. So I'm checking the roundabout and checking the mirrors and signal right up to the entry to the right and moving over to the right lane. Because it's a big turn, I'm coming from 4th gear into 2nd, just keeping the speed nice and gentle, about 15 miles an hour as we turn here in the right hand lane. So past 1, this is 2, this is 3, and now I'm back on exit 4. So I'm checking the mirror and I'm signalling left, and I'm leaving the roundabout. I'm getting to accelerate once again, still national speed limit, observing the information board, Dumfries 2 Carlisle 37. You know, it does pay to read all of the road signs when you're learning to drive, because that's what you're going to have to do when you're on your own. So we're following the road ahead once again. This is going to be the first exit off the roundabout. Now there's nothing written in stone on what gear we should do this in, so I'm checking the mirror and I'm braking gently and I'm slipping it down into 3rd gear here, because I think we can cope with that quite well. There's no other traffic at the roundabout and I'm joining. I'm checking the mirrors and I'm signalling left and I'm exiting the roundabout. Accelerating away in 3rd gear, building the speed up very quickly here, and over the 50 mark into 4th gear, and just before 60 up to 5th gear on this occasion. Parking place on the left if we needed it, checking the mirror behind, 1 car following. It's keeping a reasonable distance behind, so I'm quite happy with that, and we're following the road ahead again. Bit of a blind corner this time, so I'm just keeping over to the left, because then I can see earlier and also they can see me earlier. Okay, so there we are, coming through nice and gently. Just checking the speed again, just under the 60 mark. Looking ahead, and we've got the roundabout sign. Now, at the roundabout this time, we're going to take the first exit to the left, signposted to Kilmarnock. So I'm checking the mirrors, still in 5th gear, start the braking, nice light progressive braking so we don't feel it coming down, very gently. Left hand lane, mirror and signal. Into first gear and quite a bit of traffic. So we're just waiting for an opportunity to join here. So we're continuing now. Still some traffic coming from the right, so I'm waiting. And re-signal again because it's cancelled there. And all the time I'm looking for this opportunity to go. It's quite busy today. Just moving gently forward, but not going far enough to get actually endanger myself on the roundabout. It's coming up clear. I'm joining the roundabout now and re-signal left again, leaving the roundabout in the left hand lane. Joining the going ahead now, 30 miles per hour sign, so just check my speed, new roundabout, and we're going to follow the road ahead at the roundabout. So check the crossing, that's all clear. Check the mirror, and I'm braking, and I'm coming down to second gear here because a bit of traffic waiting and also on the roundabout. Clear to join, round in the left hand lane, follow it round, check the mirror, indicate left and leave the roundabout. Accelerating gently this time and keeping an eye on the speedometer for the 30 miles an hour. Following the road ahead and just remaining in third gear because it's a very versatile gear here. It's strong enough to give me power if I need it and slow enough to allow me to maintain this speed just under 30. I'm taking the next road on the right, so I've checked the mirror just after the traffic island here. I've signalled right, speed's reduced down to 20, where the arrow points I'm in. I'm looking ahead and I've got an oncoming vehicle. I've now got my vehicle in the lane and I've stopped on top of the arrow. That's as far as I want to go. Now back into first gear, road's clear and I'm making the turn. So there's into Jops loaning here and including. And we're going to turn right at the end of the road. So I've checked the mirror, signal right. The junction's quite blind because of the hedges and everything. So I'm down into first gear here. Right, left, right, and it's safe and out. Obviously I had checked ahead because of the fact that it was a crossroads. So we're following the road down now here, down through Lincluden. I can see loads of kids around, so obviously it's just school time and they've just got out. So they're going to be a bit excited about just getting out of school, a bit of freedom. So all the time I've reduced the speed now. I'm actually doing about 15 miles an hour here at the moment because of the children, and we've also got a loose dog here. And I'm just keeping my eyes open all the time, looking out for any of these tiny tots that might decide to run across the road. So we're still following the road ahead, and the maximum speed I'm doing at the moment is 20. One or two people crossing here, and also some vehicles coming up. So again, I'm still looking out for the children and looking for traffic. I saw one of my ex-customers waving at me there. So mirrors, signal right. Checking ahead is clear, looking into the road and it's clear, turning into the road nice and gently. Just looking at the children here and following the road around. Let's move over to the left slightly. There are more kids here, and obviously going down that path, and I can see a crossing down through there. So I'm going to have to be prepared for that when I get back onto the main road here. So we're coming around, turning left at the roundabout, mirror, signal left. Now I've already looked to the right, and there's an HGV. After that it's safe, and I'm joining the roundabout, and I've remembered the crossing, young girl at it, so she's probably pressed the button. So I'm just making sure that I didn't have to stop suddenly and frighten her or anything like that. So just by lifting my foot off the gas helps. And what we're going to do here is we're going to follow the road ahead towards Dumfries. So I've checked the mirror, I moved into the right hand lane, the centre lane for following the road ahead. I've dropped it down to second gear, observed to the right, it's clear, and I'm joining in the centre lane, following it round. No signal at this time because of the fact I'm still going ahead. Coming round, observing the traffic on the left there, and after I pass this exit I've checked my mirrors and I'm signalling left, and I'm going to leave the roundabout now. Following it round. And again, we're going to follow the road ahead at the roundabout. So we're checking the mirrors, on the brakes, currently in second gear, no traffic from the right, so straight onto the roundabout, maintaining lane discipline, left of the black line, round, mirror checking, signal left. Bringing the car round, pedestrians waiting at the crossing's just changed, check the mirror, braking, clutch down, just stay back off them a little bit, there's no point going right up to the line because that just frightens them, so we'll just wait here now. Now on flashing amber we can proceed provided the crossing's clear at a Pelican, but this one here is a puffin crossing, and notice it didn't go to flashing amber, it just went amber green, and that's how you know basically the difference between the puffin and the Pelican. So we're approaching the roundabout again, and we're going to turn right this time. We're checking the mirror, signal right, move across into the right hand lane. Traffic from the right, so I'm waiting for that. That's clear now, and I've joined the roundabout in the right lane. Following the round in the inside lane, check my mirrors, signal left, and exit the roundabout. Accelerating gently up into third gear and following the road ahead. Bit of a bumpy road. So we're still following the road ahead here. We've got a couple of mini roundabouts in front of us. We always know the mini roundabouts because of the sign, the blue sign with the arrows going around. So we're going ahead here, check the mirror, all clear, straight ahead. No need to signal off mini roundabouts because I'd much rather that your hands were on the steering wheel, as you'll see on the next turn that we do here. So I'm going to check the mirror, I'm going to signal right. We know it's a mini roundabout and it's very tight, so I'm going to just drop it down into second gear. Seems to be safe. No, there's traffic from the right, so I'm stopping. Right, so into first gear, heading towards the arrow on the road, and then just make the turn round to the right, nice and gentle, like so. Bring it out and straighten the wheels. Just keep the power off at that time, because the car will come round on its own quite easily there. So we're following the road to the right this time, so I'm checking the mirror, signal right at the mini roundabout. Down we go, and round, and back round again. And I'm going to take the next road on the right, so I'm checking the mirror, and I'm signalling right. Notice that I've been all over the chevrons there, and the only reason for that is because of all the parked cars that were on the left. So that's quite allowed because it's a broken line at the chevron and not a solid white line. Just deviating a little bit there because of a big pothole on the road. And I'm going right down to the end of this road, and I've noticed there's somebody just at the back of this car here. So again, it's a child, so I'm very, very cautious here. Right, he has seen us, so that's fine. But again, you know, always treat them with caution, they're so unpredictable. And following the road ahead, and we're checking the mirror and overtaking the van, just making sure there's no workmen at the front of it, giving it a bit of a wide berth. and at the end of this road we're turning right. We'll check the mirror and signal right. Very blind junction, so it's into first gear, and right, left, right, all clear, and out we come. So we've got the bus ahead of us. Remember that what they do is they stop and pick people up and let people off. So I'm anticipating that there might be a bus stop nearby. And I'm looking ahead. There's a car just entered the road and he's coming. No, he's decided to wait. Well, I'm going to wait for her. It's a safer option. So I didn't have to communicate with her at all by flashing lights or anything. When she saw me stopping, she just proceeded. Nice piece of driving. Okay, at the end of the road, we're turning left. Check the mirrors, and we've got the signal on. Position the car into the left, check right, and left and right, and it's clear. So we can have a little bit of a rolling exit there. And there's the bus, and he's indicating to come out. So I'm too close to him to allow him to come out, so I'm just going to go past on this occasion. But normally, you would give way to buses where you can. So at the roundabout, we're going to turn to the left. Now this van here has just jumped out in front of me. You can't get annoyed with it, you just have to accept that as a piece of bad driving on his part. He should have waited behind the junction, but there you go. So if you look on the van, you'll see it's not from Dumfries, so he probably doesn't know the junction. So I'm checking to the right to make sure it's safe. There's currently 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles that are affecting me at the moment, followed by another 2, so I'm just being patient and waiting, and I'm going to join now quite safely. Join the roundabout and off we go. Looking well ahead at the crossing and the bus stop. You know, because there's always a possibility that they're just off the bus crossing the road and you're looking out for them. So I'm checking the mirror again and I'm following the road ahead once again. So I'm looking for the lane markings and I can see them now, and I'm making a definite ploy to be in the lane early. And down to first gear, I'm looking ahead and also to the right, which is clear, and we're joining the roundabout, maintaining lane position. Left signal off, checking the mirror, and I'm going to check the mirror and signal right. Accelerating into the right hand lane, because I had a vehicle ready on the right. Oops. Right, so emergency vehicle coming over there. Unseen as we came up the brow of the hill, so again with caution, there was braking required, and to allow him the opportunity to go straight through. So I'm looking to the right at the Cuckoo Bridge roundabout once again, and we're joining up to this car here into the right hand lane as we did before, making sure the signal's on to the right, just bringing it round nice and gently. The mirror check, left hand signal, left hand mirror, all the way over and into the left hand lane. Coming down through, exit with the signal on and accelerate out on the junction. And again we're on the bypass and building the speed up, making progress all the time, and 50 miles an hour up into 5th gear and looking well ahead. Vehicle ahead is making good progress, so I can increase my speed slightly to keep the distance relatively the same. Looking well ahead, we've got an HGV up there and 2 or 3 more cars, and I'm looking at them anticipating there could be some braking later on. I'm looking as far ahead round the corner as I can, moving over to the left, just gives me a slightly better view, advantageous there. And now I can see the reduced speed now sign for the roundabout. So I've checked my mirror immediately. And there's the brake lights as anticipated. And checking the mirror once again, and we are braking. Still braking, still in 5th gear, speed's reduced to 20, I'm down into 2nd gear at this point, and I'm taking the first exit to the left. So I've checked the mirror, signal left, HGV on the roundabout, going ahead, safe to go, round we come, new speed sign, 30 miles per hour. And just building the speed up nice and gently, just up to the maximum of 30 miles per hour. Check the mirror on the new road, and we're going to take the next road on the right. So checking the mirror, signal right, moving into the right lane position, oncoming traffic, quite a lot of it, so I'm just slowing it right down, putting it into 1st gear and waiting for an opportunity to make a nice, clean and comfortable turn. There's no point in turning and making the other driver brake or anything like that. So there we are, check the mirror before the turn, and we turn into the road. Pedestrian on the left, and we're just following the road ahead now. Observing the junctions, there's no road markings on them, probably not been adopted by the council or something like that. And that's the end of the drive, and I hope it's been helpful to you. If there's anything you wish to discuss with me about it, then please don't hesitate to do so on your next lesson.